In today's video, you'll learn how to make a two-tone beanie on a circular knitting machine. In today's video, you'll learn how to make a two-tone beanie on a circular knitting machine. Your materials are 2 skeins of yarn, a pair of scissors, a yarn needle, a loom pick, and an optional pom-pom maker if you'd like to add a pom-pom. Let's get started. This hat was made with 130 rows. The main portion of the hat was 50 rows, then the brim was 20, and then the inside of the hat was another 50 rows. Now you can adjust the size according to the head, and you can also make the brim wider if you'd like, and then just decrease the amount of rows in your main color. So we're going to start off by casting on. Make sure your first black needle is sticking up, and then you're going to take about 6 inches and stick it into the center right here. Wrap around the first black needle and crank it down. Go behind the second needle and then go in front of the third black needle and crank it down. It's at this time that I usually like to put a clamp on the piece of yarn that's hanging down just to keep it tight. Then you're going to continue going around the back and the front of each needle until you go all the way around. Just crank slowly and pay attention that the yarn gets grabbed by each needle and goes in between the red pegs at the bottom. Once you've cast it all the way on and you're at your last white needle, you'll take your counter and set it to 0. Open up your yarn guide. Make sure that your yarn goes behind the last white needle and then close the door. Then slowly turn the crank, keeping an eye on your needles to make sure there are no splits. The first time around is always loud, and then it should quiet up after that. Now you'll continue cranking until you reach 50 rows, and then you'll change colors. I'll meet you back at the 49th row. Okay, so now you're at your 49th row and you're almost to your 50th row. So slowly turn the crank until you get to the needle number 46, the last white peg or the last white needle right before the black one. Let that white needle go down and then your counter should change to 50 rows. At that point, you need to take your scissors. You're going to be changing your color, so you're going to take your scissors and cut off a piece, maybe about, 5 inches. And then grab your next color. Okay, now that you've got your next color, you're going to open up the yarn door, the yarn guide, and slide your yarn in, and then tie a light knot with the pink yarn or, with your main color. And then you're going to slowly crank, making sure that your new color goes in front of the next black needle. Slowly go around. Now, give it a little bit of a tug here. And I just keep going around and around and around for 30 rows. Once you get a couple of rows, then you can double knot that color change right there. So I just make sure that it's tight and give it a double knot, secure it like that, and then I use my scissors to cut it short so I don't forget later. And I will add 30 more rows to this, and that will bring me to row 80. So I will see you back at row 79 when we will change colors one more time. Okay, now I've gone around 79 rows and my last white needle is sticking up. I had some problems with yarn barf, so I had to cut out the knots and then reattach the yarn here and then in another place, but you can't tell. So I'm going to wait until this last white needle comes down and it will change to row 80. Then I'm going to take about, 6 inches, 5-6 inches and cut it. Then I will open up the yarn door, take this yarn out, insert the new yarn in and tie a knot. Just tie a loose knot at first. And then slowly crank around, making sure that your new yarn is getting grabbed by the second black needle. And kind of give the knot a little tug. And work your way back around. Keep going. And then make sure you secure your knot one more time with another knot and then cut it short. Not too short, but inch and a half. And then I will see you back when I reach 130 rows in total. Okay, so now we are at row 129 and we are almost at peg number or needle number 46, which is right before the black needle. So you're going to slowly turn until the last white needle right before the black peg goes down. Then it changes to 130 rows. Then you're going to take a piece of yarn, the rest of your working yarn, and make sure that it's long enough to go around your machine. And then you'll cut it. You'll put it on your yarn needle, and then I tie mine twice because sometimes it comes loose. Then you'll open up your yarn door and then slowly crank down until this first black needle goes down and your yarn loop right here is visible. You'll pick it up with your yarn needle. And then it's secured. Then you go to the next one. So you just go all the way around, securing each stitch until your whole hat has come off of the machine. And I'll be back when I'm finished. Okay, I'm on my last needle here. I'm going to crank it down. Take off that last stitch. And voila! Here is our tube. Stretch it out. It's looking pretty already. Okay, now we've pulled our tube out of the machine. I'm gonna give it a nice stretch. This will help keep the stitches all even. And then the row that we cast it off with, we still have our working yarn attached to the needle. So we're going to take this and cinch it. Just pull the yarn and cinch it. And you'll notice that some of the yarn will bunch up as you're doing that. And just take your fingers and roll it in and then tighten it up. Just like that. Okay, so then you're going to want to close this with a couple of stitches. So this yarn, your working yarn that's coming out, you're going to take it and go down across from it on the other side of the hole and into the hat. Then take your other hand and find the needle and pull it through. Okay, and then we're going to go back up inside of the hat and go across in the other direction, from one side to the other, and make kind of an X. This just helps secure the top of the hat so it doesn't come loose after it's been worn a few times or in the wash. You want to go inside the hat. Just like that. So you're going to be closing it up just like that. So then you take your hand and you pull the inside of the hat up into itself. So it's halfway. This is your brim right here. So you want the hat to come up halfway, so that half of this turquoise part shows. Sometimes you have to fiddle with it a little bit. Okay, once you have the hat folded the way you need to here, with the brim showing at the bottom, then you will take your other piece of yarn from the other side, and then you're going to cinch that as well, making sure that the string from inside is sticking out of the middle, and just kind of work this until it gets nice and taut. Then you're going to cut off about 4 inches or so. Then you're going to tie it 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. And then take your needle. You want to hide these strings inside of the hat. So thread that up. Stick your hand in, and then just stick your needle in between both of the layers, and then have it come out like this. That will hide the string, the yarn, and then cut it, and there you go. Now would be a great time to add a matching pom-pom. If you don't know how to make a pom-pom, I'll link a video above. So first, you'll thread your yarn onto your needle, and then you'll find the center hole of your hat and stick your needle into it. Pull your pom-pom tight down. Take your hat inside out while holding your pom-pom snug. Grab up some of the stitches and go through the base of the pom-pom and through the hat. It's going to be nice and thick, but your pom-pom will stay sturdy that way. Okay, I was just checking to see how it was. Then you're going to come back through again. And then come back through one more time. Now, just make a knot to secure it. Stick your needle in underneath some stitches that you have there. Pull it through and take your needle and go right through that hole. If that doesn't work, you can just use your fingers like this, because my yarn is a little bit too short. Just make it, pull it tight. And there you have it, a two-tone beanie made on your circular knitting machine with a pom-pom. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, like and subscribe, and make sure you hit the notification bell. I hope to see you next time on Crojo Corner. Thanks for watching.